Okay, hello everyone. My name is Michael Tyson. The name of my show is Your Community Natural Health Club. And we're going to be talking about a lot of different things, but my main thing I want to start with to show everybody and to be part of my health club. And this is going to consist of a lot of things. We can help ourselves, help our family, help our friends who have health challenges, and we need to come together and learn together. There's so much we can learn just by, starting a group. Each one teach one. A lot of them people have the same conditions, arthritis, all kinds of diabetes, and we just need to get together and learn how to do things naturally and teach ourselves. So I'm going to be talking about the health club today. I'm going to be talking about the wheatgrass, steamer, which is a device that increases your blood flow by 30% in 8 minutes. Talk about the foot detox. I'm going to be talking about house parties that I do in the New York and local area. And I'm starting a wheatgrass club for people who purchase the wheatgrass so we can learn from each other, hear our testimonials, and a lot more things. And today I'm going to be talking a little about our bad habits. A lot of people don't realize they have bad habits. I guess they do, but some things that you're not aware of, and I'm just going to mention some of those things. And I'm going to show people today how to make, probably at the end of the show, how to make pumpkin seed milk. It's very nutritious, and everybody who made it and tried it love it. So I'm going to talk about, we all have bad habits, and we need to write them down so we can help change it. Like one of my bad habits was I used to eat late at night. So I got out of that bad habit, and I noticed by not eating at night, your body goes into this super healing mode, meaning that when you go to sleep, you have no food in your stomach, so your body can concentrate on healing. You only can do that when you don't have food in your stomach. When you have food in your stomach, your body has to go through the digestive system. So at night when you're sleeping, it's turning on the liver, the kidney, the spleen, the pancreas, all the organs to digest that food. It just cannot sit there. So what happens, we think we got a restful sleep, but we really don't. Like I noticed when I used to eat late at night, I will wake up very tired in the morning. I'm like, wow, I slept 8 hours. Why am I tired? And then when I stopped eating late at night, I had a good night's sleep. And I woke up, feeling refreshed. I was hungry, but my body was working on healing. So your body can repair your intestines, fix your liver, your kidney. And it only can do that when you do not have food in your stomach at night. So in a sense, you're fasting at night. So when you fast, any kind of fast, your body start repairing your body. So that's one thing I want to stress to everyone. You take advantage of that. You will realize the difference. You will feel better. Your skin will get better. You will just, anything that's, your eyes will get better. Your hair will probably grow because your body has a chance to repair and heal and rebuild. And then when you wake up in the morning, the first thing you should have is water. Because when you're detoxing at night and repairing, you're creating a lot of toxins. So in the morning, one of my friends told me, for example, which I'm glad she told me, she said, Mike, I don't like drinking water in the morning. I'm like, well, why? I told her it's good for you because it helps flush out the toxins in your body. She said to me, because when I drink water in the morning, I feel nauseous. So I'm glad she told me. I said, the reason why you feel nauseous is because you're toxic because you woke up, so your body's trying to release these toxins that build up when you were sleeping. So when you drink that water, it's going to help detox you. So that's why you feel that way. So I'm glad you told me that. I learned a lot from other people just by asking them simple questions. So that's very powerful. It's very simple, and people need to learn about that and take advantage of it for their, health. They will notice the difference how they feel, and less bloated, and feel better with the healing process. Like I said, when you fast and when you don't eat at night, your body goes into a super healing mode. So we're going to be talking about more of that in the future. I want people to have a health challenge. Tell them to don't eat at night, drink water, a cup of water, and when you wake up, drink as much water as you can. And see how you feel. Like everybody I've told to do that, they do feel the difference. So that's one of the health challenges I want to have with the health club. And I want us to write down our bad habits. Like a lot of people eat constantly. They eat the wrong food. Like, okay, let's not have sugar for a week, or let's not have salt for a week. Let's eat more fruits, or stay away from dry stuff. That's because when you have a lot of dry stuff, your body's going to require a lot of water. Same with sweets. A lot of people know when you eat a lot of sweets, your body gets dehydrated because your body's trying to throw off the excess sugar. So a lot of people don't know is when they eat a lot of sugar, they have to urinate a lot. The same with salt. When you eat a lot of salt, your body's going to try to throw a lot of it out because it can't handle it. And that's, a really bad thing. And one of the things I do as a bad habit, I do not like to eat in front of the TV. I'd rather eat, at a table in a quiet situation, not looking at TV. I can concentrate on, eating. And also, people buy a lot of sugary drinks. So when you have a lot of sugary drinks, your body's going to want to throw out that sugar, so you're going to be more dehydrated. Even with salty stuff, I tell you, you're going to just get dehydrated. And one thing I like to do, I like to eat before I leave my house. I usually like to eat after 12. And when I do eat anywhere, I would like to relax. I don't like walking down the street eating. And I just want to sit down and relax, help you digest the food better. So, and then other bad habits, people have, like, I don't usually snack because I eat a lot of nutritious stuff, so my body is more satisfying. And another bad habit I used to have is eating and laying down, because I usually fall asleep. So what I do now is if I feel sleepy, I will not eat. I'll wait till I wake up. I'll drink some water or have some wheatgrass, and then you can digest your food better when you're awoke, for adults. So, and then I like to hear from other people, what kind of bad habits they have. I know a lot of people have with the sugary drinks, which is really crazy because it makes people gain a lot of weight. It's just too many sweet drinks and the sodas with the acid, and so there's a lot of different things that I like people to write those things down. And then, we're going to work on, like, okay, what can you have for a snack? What if you want a bad snack? When should you have it? So you can, have a little sometime. So that's one of the things I would like to concentrate on. So as far as the club, I'm going to show people how to, write up a flyer. Maybe I'll write up a basic flyer and send it to people and say, okay, right now I need for everyone to make a list of people that they think that want to join the club. You got to start off somewhere and ask them so they know somebody else that want to be part of them. I'm telling you, that's the key how we can get our health together. I learned so much from other people more than I saw on YouTube or read. And it's just like amazing just by learning all this stuff from other people. You know, and people tell me, it's like, well, how did you learn all this stuff? I said, most of the stuff I learned from other people, their health situation and what they eat. And I had a friend, I was telling her, she was telling me, so I have a lot of problems and, you know, with my family, like external stuff. So it's really affecting her health. So I told her, I said, well, you got to work with you first because you can't help anybody if you can't help yourself. So we're like working on that. And I was telling her, you know, your mental health is your immune system. Like you have a lot of problems and stuff. You can really wear down the immune system and you can't really concentrate properly. So that's one of the things I want to start with the club. So, and also, we could talk about the wheatgrass again, like some of the new things that I do with it. Like now what I do is before I go to bed, like I have a immune problem. So since I don't eat at night, that wheatgrass is very potent. The one that I sell is double the potency as the one that you can find in a health food store. And I'm sorry. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I'm sorry if something went wrong. So with the wheatgrass, I'm sorry, you can, I take it at night, and it's very potent. So I take like an ounce. So since I do not eat at night, my body can use that nutrition, and it just takes 1 minute to get in your blood. But I got to be careful about it sometimes because some people, the wheatgrass is so potent, give you a lot of energy sometimes, and sometimes it can keep people up. So I tell people to be careful. You know, some people can get away with it, especially on their health conditions. So if they like have a lot of health challenges, you know, it should work for them because their body can use the nutrition because their body is repairing at night. So I take wheatgrass when I fast. I go to a longer fast. I can usually fast for 1 day. By taking the wheatgrass, I noticed one day I took like 10 ounces, and I fast for 3 days. So it's excellent for people who fast. It'll cut their hunger, and they can go even longer. And I have clients, women who have terrible menstrual problems, and I'll tell them to take the wheatgrass, and you'll notice a difference. And a lot of them will call me up and say, you know what, it actually worked. I have less pain, or the pain went away, or my flow is normal, it's not as heavy. So your body, wheatgrass builds up your blood, so it's your blood that heals your body. So I told people, I said, you gotta work on your blood. That's what's gonna heal you. So then when we talk about writing down your bad habits, pretty sure people have a lot of list of things. And one of the things, well, I like the wheatgrass because sometimes I have a hectic schedule and I may not have a chance to eat, or especially when I go out, I don't want to eat the wrong thing. So what I do is load up on wheatgrass that day, and I won't get hungry or I won't go crazy, you know, getting something that I'm not supposed to get. So that's the number one thing I like about the wheatgrass. I don't overeat or eat the wrong things. So that is really great. So, and also, I'm going to have people call in their testimony with the wheatgrass, and also at the end of the show, I'm going to show you how to make pumpkin seed milk. And on the next show, I want people call in and tell me how they like it. So it's really, really nutritious. It's more nutritious than milk, which I was shocked about. So when I first made it, I fell in love with it. I'm like, oh, wow, this like you could use it to make your smoothies, and you can make it any time. And it's so nutritious that it will go bad in 3 days, 3 or 4 days. So sometime what I do to make it last longer, I would freeze it. So that's one of the things I do. So I would take a little break. Anybody have any questions before I continue? Remember, I hope that everybody has a pen to write everything down with how to make this pumpkin seed milk, as well as other milks that you can make with seeds and nuts. But I like pumpkin seeds because it's very high in zinc. And zinc in the body, most of the zinc in our organs have a lot of zinc. And zinc helps with your immune system. So every organ in your body is very high in zinc. And it helps, protect you from disease and viruses and stuff. So your body needs zinc, especially your organs. All the organs have it's high in zinc. Like on animals, when they kill, they go for the organs because the organs is more nutritious than anything else in the body. So they fight for the organs, especially like the lions and stuff. They really fight for the organs because they're very nutritious. They don't go, they want the organs because they're more nutritious. They don't usually go for the flesh first. So the pumpkin seed milk is very nutritious. You can make it anytime. It's just that, you have to find out are you allergic to seeds. Some people are allergic to seeds and nuts. So I tell people you got to be aware of that and be careful with giving it to kids who have allergies. So, and I'm going to talk a little about the Beamer. The Beamer is a device that increases your blood flow by 30% in 8 minutes. And my testimony on it, when I first got into it, I would invite people to these free seminars. A couple of friends, and two of my friends noticed the difference. Like, oh, wow. When I came here, I had a pain on my back. It's completely gone. And I was just surprised. I'm like, oh, wow. I brought another friend. She said, I had an old sports injury. Nothing ever helped that, but this really helped it. So, I got into the Beamer. I figured, I'm getting older. I need something to take care of me for the rest of my life. I don't like going to the doctors. I do go. And I figured that would be part of my regimen for my health. And when I go to the doctor, they tell me things. They're like, your blood is excellent. I'm like, oh, wow. And every time I get a blood test, they just tell me that all the time, as well as other things. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's really great. So I have health parties in New York in the local area. I do the wheatgrass, the Beamer, the foot detox. And the foot detox is a device where you put your feet in a pail of water and you put this device in it. And it's a 25-minute treatment and it helps detox your body. When I first got into that, I had to try it out. I took a friend with me. We both got a foot detox. And the guy that was treating my friend said, well, what's wrong with your friend? I'm like, what do you mean? He says, I've never seen anybody's water turn black. I'm like, he never told me anything was wrong with him. So the next day, my friend called me and says, Mike, the pain is gone. The pain is gone. I'm like, what are you talking about? He says, Mike, ever since I was a teenager, he's like 30 years old now, he said, I would have this chest pain in the morning that would last for an hour. He said, it's completely gone. I'm like, well, maybe it'll come back tomorrow. He said, Mike, I'm telling you, it's gone. So I asked him, well, how long you had it? And he said, well, since I was 16. I'm like, do you remember anything that happened? He said to me, well, nowadays we burn our garbage. And I used to sit there and smell the plastic when I was a kid. I'm like, well, maybe that's what built up in your chest and just couldn't come out. And that's why your water turned black when we did the foot detox. So, I bought the device and I started treating myself. And I hear a lot of testimonies from other people who do the foot detox. I tell people, to learn more about it, go on YouTube, put in foot detox, or and you see a lot of videos on YouTube. And a lot of the videos I saw were kind of negative, but I noticed like the news reporters were going and testing it out, putting it on their news shows that this is a hoax. But I know one thing that all the YouTube videos saw, one thing they didn't do, they didn't talk to the people who got the foot detox. But they were talk to the people who got the foot detox that could have told them their testimonial, like what my friend did. So that's how I, got into the foot detox. So my health parties, I do that in the local area, New York City area particularly. And it's very successful. Everybody loves it. I teach them how to do certain things. I make food for them. And it's really, really nice. So I'm going to take a little break again if anybody has any questions. I will be showing you how to make the pumpkin seed milk. I guess I can tell you now since I don't have it. So you have to buy raw pumpkin seed, organic particularly, and you take the seeds, like a cup of seeds, you soak them overnight, and then in the morning when you're about to use them, you rinse them. And once you rinse them, you put it in a blender. You could put 3 to 4 cups of water to 1 cup of nuts. So I usually do 4, but if you want it kind of thicker, you could use 3, but it's up to you. So I usually use 4. So I usually start off with 1 cup of water to 1 cup of nuts, soaked nuts that you soaked overnight. Put it in a blender, and you blended it up to become a paste. If it's hard to blend, then you can slowly add the rest of the water. I'll put I put 1 cup of water in. It's not blending properly, so let me put 2 cups of water in. So you keep doing that until you have 4 cups of water into the blender with 1 cup of nuts. And then you take that mixture and you have to strain it to get rid of the pulp. And I usually use a cheesecloth, or you have something thin, mesh or anything like that, and you can put it in the cheesecloth, or they have nut milk bags you can buy from Whole Foods or kitchen stores, and you squeeze the milk out like you're milking a cow, like you go along the mesh bag, and you squeeze it out till you get as much water out as you can. Then you have the pumpkin seed milk. And I usually don't like to sweeten it because I like the way it tastes by itself. Sometimes I put a little salt in it. If I want to sweeten it, I usually blend it up with a date or something, but I usually like it by itself. You should try it by itself first to see how you like it. And also, if I'm going to make a smoothie, I usually use that milk that I just made, or before I put it to the cheesecloth or the mesh bag, I just use that mixture and pour it into the blender and then add my fruits and stuff without straining the pulp out. So that's when I make a smoothie. I do that, but when I want a milk, I usually strain it. Like I said, this is very nutritious. It will go bad in 2 or 3 days. So you can change it around, and like I make turmeric milk. So I use pumpkin seed milk, and I put my turmeric in it, blend it up, put a little pepper in there, and sometimes I put maybe a little bit of olive oil, and blend it up, and I have my turmeric milk. So turmeric, is good for inflammation and things like that, or people have a lot of inflammation, so it's very good, a lot of minerals. Sometimes I put a little ginger in there. You just have to experiment and see how you like it. There's so many things that you can do. So I love my pumpkin seed milk. When I first started making it, I started making it every single day. So sometimes, like what I do, if I soak the seeds overnight, sometimes I would do 2 cups, 3 cups. So what I do to store it, I'll take a cup of the soak nuts and I put it in the freezer. So that way, when I'm ready to use it, I just blend it up because it's already soaked. And when you soak the nuts, it releases out the anti-nutrients that a lot of people are allergic to sometimes. And plus, it helps the seed sprout. That means that it will actually start to grow. Usually, like I do sunflower seed milk, and that sprouts very fast. And actually, when you soak the nut overnight, it becomes 200 to 300 times more nutritious because it's actually at the stage where it can grow into a plant. So I tell people, I say, just try it, and then you can just eat them by themselves. If you like sometime I would soak almonds overnight, and it kind of swells up. And sometimes you could just eat that by itself. And a lot of people like that. They say, I like it better. It's not as hard. I can chew it better. And it's very nutritious. So that's one of the things I would like everybody to try to make. It's very easy. It's 1 cup of nuts soaked overnight. Rinse it. Put it in the blender. Add 1 cup of water. Blend it up to become like a paste. Add the rest of the 3 cups of water. So you have a total of 4 cups of water. Blend it up. If you want to make a smoothie, you just use some of that water and put your fruits and stuff in it, and you have your smoothie. But you want to make it milk, you want to put it through a nut milk bag or a cheesecloth and strain the milk out. And like I said, it'll last 3 to 4 days at the most. You can freeze it if you want to preserve it. Like a lot of time I freeze it in little ice cubes. So if you know anybody else that would think they would like to do this would be posted on YouTube, hopefully, and you could tell other people to try it out. People that you want to be in your club, have them try it out. So, and also with the same pumpkin seed milk, you can make a pudding. You just use less water. And then you probably have to use some kind of fruit or sweetener to, make it sweet. I did that before, but I usually like the milk. So you can make a pudding. There's just so much you can do. You can make, I guess on the next show, I show you how to make a salad dressing out of nuts and seeds. It's very tasty, excellent in your salad. So you make your own salad for your salad dressing. So that's very good. And you can make soup. I'll show you how to do that in the future, how you can make a soup out of the nuts. You puree it, you season it up, and it's a raw soup, so you don't cook it, but you can warm it up to give it a little heat. So I'll talk about that in the future in the club. So it's just so many things that you can do. You can make a sauce with the pumpkin seeds. So like I learned all this stuff, I used to go to health expos, and I ran into someone that lived in my neighborhood that made food. So she made a raw lasagna, like a raw lasagna. I said, I've never had a raw lasagna. I said, well, you know what? Let me try it out. It was excellent. I was so shocked. I went back and got another one. And lucky thing, I went back to get another one because she was sold out within like an hour and a half. And everybody was saying, oh, this is so good. This is so good. So I found out that she lived in my neighborhood, and The next day, I volunteered at this expo, and she said, "Oh, do you want to ride?" So, she drove me. Her and her husband drove me to the expo, and we became friends. And I volunteered. I tell people, if you want to learn something, volunteer to help someone out who does this stuff. And I just learned so much from them. They make a raw cheesecake made out of nuts. And I'll probably in the future show people how to make desserts out of nuts and seeds. And they made a raw burger, and I was just shocked about that. I tried that. That was excellent. They made a raw pizza. I'm like, oh, my God. Tried that. That was excellent. And everything they made, the soups, the desserts, the burger, the pizza. I was just so amazed. So I volunteered with them and learned how to make most of those things. They had classes. The restaurant was called Raw Soul, in New York. But I think they may have some YouTube videos up. And actually, I still keep in contact with them. They do not live in New York anymore, so I want to put her as a guest on my show. And hopefully she can teach us something and tell us how she got started. And one reason why I like raw food is because it's very nutritious. And when I started eating raw food, I noticed that I started eating less. And I like to eat. Even though I was eating my friends' raw food, they even said to me, like, Michael, you don't eat as much as you. So I'm like, I kind of noticed that. And the reason is it's very nutritious. When you cook the food, you're killing most of the nutrition, like 50 to 60% of it. Then you're killing the enzymes, which helps you digest the food. So when you cook the food, you're killing the enzymes, so the enzyme actually breaks down your food. So what your body has to do is use its own enzymes to break down that food. So you're robbing your body enzymes to break your food down. Your body enzymes is supposed to be used to heal and repair your body. So that's why a lot of people don't heal properly, because they eat a lot of cooked food. So the body has to use their own enzymes to break down that food, I discovered. So I noticed when I eat raw food, it digests so fast. But if I had cooked that food, it would take longer, like maybe 4, 6 to 8 hours. But when I ate the raw food, it digests like within an hour or less. Most of the time, within a half hour. And when you digest the food very fast, that means you get the energy very fast. So meaning that digestion takes up most of your body's energy. So a lot of people don't know that. So, well, digestion takes up all. So if you're eating food that takes longer to digest, that means your body's using a lot of energy. And that's why when some people eat, they fall asleep or get sleepy, because their body has to spend a lot of energy digesting that cooked food and meat. And I noticed a difference immediately when I did raw food. Matter of fact, when I first got into raw food, I had terrible allergies, terrible skin, and I wanted to do something about it. And I heard raw food is very good. I said, okay, let me try it. So I did it for 3 months, and within a month, people started noticing a difference in my skin and my eyes. I didn't notice it, but I noticed that I had a lot of energy. So people were commenting about my eyes and my skin, and I'm like, oh, and then strangers would tell me, oh, you have beautiful skin. I'm like, nobody never told me that before. Oh, you got beautiful eyes. I'm like, nobody never told me that either. So I get all these comments from strangers. I'm like, wow, this must be really work. So one day I went into the subway system. In New York City, it was like 100 degrees. So you're in the subway system, it could be 150. So everybody was in the subway station waiting for the train, sweating, and towels, paper towels, and wiping their face, except me. And I just felt I wasn't hot, I wasn't cold, I was just normal. I didn't even feel the heat. And people would come up and say, "Excuse me, sir, why aren't you sweating?" I'm like, you know what? I don't know. I noticed that too. So I'm like, okay, I noticed that. I didn't sweat a lot, and I wasn't hot. And then I would get these huge bowel movements. And that scared me because I didn't feel it. It was so big. I just happened to look in the toilet, and I'm like, oh, my God. I said, that's really large. So I said, I have to go to a nutritionist so he can explain what's going on to me. So I went to the nutritionist, and he said to me, what were you eating? I said, salad. He said, well, how much salad were you eating? And I said, I had it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And he said, wow. He said, what did you have in your salad? I'm like, basically spinach, anything green, and maybe 2 other things. And I made my own salad dressing. And he said, you know what? That liquid chlorophyll and that spinach and all that greens, that will clean you out. That's why your eyes were really bright. Your skin was glowing. That's why people were making those comments. And that's why you had that large bowel movement and you didn't feel it. He said, that's a perfect bowel movement, when you go a lot and you don't feel it. And I said, also, when I wiped myself, it was nothing on the tissue. He said, that was a perfect bowel movement. Most people don't get that at all. I'm like, oh, wow. He said, you did really good. So after 3 months, I stopped the diet. Maybe a month or 2 later, people stopped commenting about my eyes and my skin. And also, my allergies went away. And I have my allergies 3 times a year all my life. It went away. And I was so shocked. I'm like, okay, so within 2 years, I got off the diet and everything. People stopped talking about my skin. Only thing I didn't like about the diet, I lost weight, which was okay. I wish I would have worked out more. But after 2 years, my allergies came back. I'm like, wow. I said, you know what, I need to start this again. And as a group, I think that we'd be better because they would encourage me, I would encourage them, and we can share our results, our testimonials. So that's one of the things why I'm really excited about the club. Teach people different things. We can hear all our testimonials. You can hear my testimonial. And also the other things that I do, maybe we can do a health party somewhere. And you can also order the wheatgrass from me. I'm a wheatgrass distributor. And how I became a distributor is like I used to go to the store and buy the wheatgrass, but I only could take 1 ounce in it. Another thing is it would make me nauseous half the time. But I would try to take more, and I just could not. So I had to figure out a way. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to start this diet again, but I want to incorporate wheatgrass too. So I called this company up that sells frozen wheatgrass. I asked so much questions. I said, I want to order your wheatgrass. And I asked them, and I said, when I go in the health food store, half the time I get nauseous with the wheatgrass. And they said there was a reason why. I'm like, why? He said, because a lot of time when they grow it in those trays in the health food store, they're like 2 inches in depth. They tend to over-water sometimes when they water it, and it creates mold because it doesn't drain properly. That's why you feel nauseous. I'm like, oh, wow, I know a lot of people that feel that way. I got to tell them about it. So I ordered the wheatgrass, and it didn't arrive yet, but I was reading more about it, and they said their wheatgrass is double the potency of the ones you can buy in the store. So I called them back, and I'm like, well, why is yours double the potency? Theirs is fresh, grows in the trays, and yours is frozen. They said because we grow ours outside, where the root can grow 6 to 8, even 10 inches long, so it absorbs more nutrition from the soil. That's when that makes sense. But then the grass part is more mature. Instead of growing 2 to 3 inches, we let it grow to 6 to 8 inches. That way the sugar is broken down because, when you have wheatgrass in the store, sometimes it tastes sweet. And so if it tastes, anything tastes sweet, your body has to break that sugar down. So theirs didn't taste sweet at all. So when it's mature, the sugar is broken down. So, I ask them so much questions. They ask me a question. And it's like, well, can we ask you a question? I'm like, sure. Would you like to be a distributor? And I'm like, why? He said, because you asked us so many questions that no one never asked us before. So we figure you will be a good rep for the company. And I'm like, oh, wow, sure. I said, I got a job. So that was very funny. So I tell the wheatgrass to people. I tell them, like, the benefits that happen with me when I go to the doctor. They say my blood work is excellent. We didn't have to stop the medication because your blood work is good. If your blood work is bad, we would have to stop the medication. And I realized that happens to a lot of people in the hospital. If they take a medication, if their blood is bad, they won't even give them the medication because, the medication can kind of weakens you sometimes, or most of the time, I should say. So I tell people, take this wheatgrass. The doctor's going to go notice a difference. So get a blood test. So I had a testimonial from 2 people. They had bad blood, and I would tell the people, go get a blood test. I said, why aren't you saying anything? The doctor's going to tell you when you come back how your blood is. And 2 of the people I know said, the doctor said, this is the best blood test I ever had. Whatever you're doing, keep doing what you're doing. And another person said, the doctor said, my blood work was exceptional. And I said, it's the blood that heals you. If you don't have good blood, your body's going to have a hard time healing.
Thank you.
So I sell the wheatgrass. I get a lot of testimonials. People love it. They get energy. I have a guy, he takes it. So I'm get a blood test. His doctor said, oh, my blood test is good. I'm like, okay. He said, oh, I feel good. I'm like, oh, okay, good. You need, if you have a condition, remember you got to take more until you try to heal that condition. And your doctor's going to tell you everything else. Oh, you're doing good. We can take you off the medication. So I tell you, it's the blood that heals you. I don't care what you eat. If it doesn't enhance your blood, then you're going to have bad buzz. A lot of people have bad digestion. They don't digest the food properly. Like wheatgrass takes 1 minute to get in your blood. And a lot of people feel the energy instantly. Oh, I feel good. I'm like, okay, I have a client. She has 10% of her liver working. So her mother is like trying to help her out. She won't listen to her. She says, well, Michael, maybe she'll listen to you. So I talked to her. So I told her, I said, listen, your kidney is only working 10%. So the next step is dialysis. I said, well, when you do dialysis, some people have to do it every day. Some people do it 3 times a week, the ones that I know. And when they do the dialysis, they're exhausted. So I told her, you're going to have to stop working. So she's a beautician and stuff like that. She likes to go out and party and things like that. Hang on to her. You can't do that anymore if you don't improve your kidney. So she got serious. She said, okay, I'm going to buy the wheatgrass. So within maybe 3 weeks, I told her, I said, get your blood test. She texted me and said, I didn't get my blood test yet, but I feel really good. I'm like, that's a start. That's something that wheatgrass do for you because your body can absorb it in 1 minute. It can get the nutrition right away. It doesn't have to digest it like when you eat a salad or whatever, because that's going to take a half hour, hour. The wheatgrass, your body can absorb it immediately. So he was very impressed with that. So you got to get your blood test. I said, your doctor will tell you something. I said, hopefully your kidney will improve, but you still got to do other stuff. You got to take the herbs. You got to go cleansing. I'm not an expertise at that, but there's herbalists out there that can help you. Plus, the doctor can look at your blood and see your progress. So, wheatgrass for me is my medicine. I was confirmed it with my doctor. They tell me these things is going on for me, or we didn't have to stop this with you because the blood work's been excellent. And so I tell people that's my medicine. So I want to take a little break. Does anybody have any questions about making nut milk? I wanted to know more about the wheatgrass.
I have a question.
Good.
Go ahead, Carol.
Okay, thank you, Bonnie. Yes, so taking the wheatgrass, where do you suggest getting the wheatgrass?
Well, like I said, I'm a distributor for this company in Canada, and the wheatgrass, where I like them because there's double the potency as the ones you can buy in the health food store.
Uh-huh.
So if you want to contact me, I can give you my info. My email is Mike.
I'm driving right now.
Oh, that's easy to remember. Mike Mailbox1 at yahoo.com. So remember, Mike Mailbox1.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I also give a free consultation, half-hour consultation, where people who do order the wheatgrass for me, because I want to take it right, and they could tell me like what kind of health problems. I may tell them maybe you need to take more, or take it twice a day, like in the morning or the evening. Like
so
one
now,
of the new things I'm doing. Go ahead.
If you have no health problems, do you still recommend taking?
Yes, like especially the people who want to fast, and like as you can go to a longer fast. Like one day I took 10 ounces. I woke up in the middle of the night. I'm like, wait a minute, I ain't even eat today. I ain't even had the urge to eat. So it's good for people who want to fast. It's good for people who want to work out. They get a faster recovery time. I got people to work out. They say, I took that wheatgrass before I worked out, and I took it after I worked out. And I feel better, and I've recovered faster. And
okay.
For people, thank you. I answered your question?
Yes, you have. Thank you.
Okay, my number is for people who want to call me is 929-273-1481. I encourage you to start your health club. I'll help you out there. You just have to have your friends who want to start it with you to come to the show and hear what I have to say, and you can hear the recordings. If you have any questions later, you can give them my information. But I haven't have a video posted on YouTube yet, but pretty soon. When I had to edit the first one because I had like technical difficulties, but I managed to edit it, which was great. And also, I want people to make this pumpkin seed milk. So if you didn't get it, hopefully it'll be posted on YouTube. I'll repeat it again. It's 1/2 a cup of pumpkin seeds soaked overnight, rinsed in the morning. Take the pumpkin seeds, put it in a blender, add 4 cups of water, but do a cup at a time. So you want to do the first cup, blend it up so it turns into a paste, put a second cup in there, blend it up where it becomes more smooth, and then put the rest of the other 2 cups in there and blend it up. And you have to strain it. You can use a nut milk bag, a cheese pop, or some people have a mesh strainer, but that still can do it with that one. You just have to get a fork or something to mash it down to force the liquid out. And you can spice it up, put a little salt in it. You can sweeten it. I usually don't like sweetening. I like it by itself. And some people, I have cereal when I use that. I'm like, I don't eat cereal anymore, but I make smoothies, and usually when I make a smoothie, I don't even strain it. I'll just take the milk and put it in the blender and then add my fruits in there and blend it up. And that's my pumpkin seed milk smoothie. I also make turmeric milk, and I make a pudding. Less water becomes a pudding. Just sweeten it up. I make salad dressing with it. Spice it up with seasoning and excellent salad dressing. And this is a lot more. You can make a soup. I'll teach you how to make that in the future. So all this stuff is all raw, has all the enzymes in it, and it digests very fast. Like I said, when you have cooked foods, you're killing all the enzymes. It's the enzymes that breaks down the food. So if you cook the food, your body has enzymes naturally. So it takes the enzymes from your body to break down that food. The enzymes in the body are supposed to be used for you to repair your body. So if you eat a lot of cooked foods, that means you're using a lot of your enzymes that heals you, repairs you, to digest that food. So you're robbing your body's enzymes that repair your body to digest that food. And then digestion is your number one body energy user. So eating these cooked foods, which takes longer to digest, so now you're using a lot of energy, and that's why a lot of people, when they eat, they kind of get sleepy and fall asleep because your body is using all that energy. And so the body's telling you got to relax because you got to digest your food. So we got some time left. Anybody have any questions about the wheatgrass?
How are you again?
Okay, how are you?
I am good. I have a couple of questions. One regarding the pumpkin seed milk. Why do you soak it?
Because a lot of seeds have toxins in it, and it also makes the plant dormant. So when you soak the nuts, those toxins come out, and the seeds become alive where they can grow. And it's designed that in nature so the plant won't grow out of season. So, we got spring, fall, and winter. So in the spring, it's more water. So it soaks in the soil, so it stimulates the seeds to grow. In the wintertime, it's cold, so the plants don't really get the water. So it's designed that way. Plus, the seeds have toxins in it, so certain animals don't eat all the seeds. They can eat a certain amount, and then they can't eat anymore because it's kind of making them sick. So that's one of the reasons. And plus, if you soak it, it becomes 200 to 300 times more nutritious than the dormant state of the seeds.
Okay, so just a part B to that. So are you saying that when we eat dry pumpkin seeds, we're eating the toxins as well?
Yes, we can tolerate it to a certain extent. Like a lot of foods have toxins in it. You ever get that feeling when you eat something, you say, I'm just sick of this, I'm tired of eating this? Because each food has the toxins in it that we can tolerate. But when you overeat it, it gives you that sensation of, I don't want any more of this. Animals have the same things. They'll eat it, and then they'll get that same sensation, but they go to something else or another seed. There's all kinds of seeds. They will just go to another area, like, there's something designed in nature so that plant won't get extinct.
Okay, thank you. And I had asked that because I was thinking, I felt that soaking it, I heard you say with the sprouting, but I was also thinking that after soaking it, that water would be valuable to use as one of the cups of water. But if
it's kind of toxic.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
But all seeds is like sometimes when you get just like wheat, they don't soak. So a lot of people are allergic to wheat and don't know. They have sprouted wheat, which they soak it, get rid of the toxins out of there. which is much healthier. But a lot of people are allergic to wheat and don't know because it still has some toxins in it. You can tolerate a certain amount, but when you keep eating all the time, you're going to get allergic to it.
Thank you. And here's the question regarding wheatgrass. So is it full of nutrients and also have detoxing properties? And would it
Yes,
be good for someone with fibroids?
it'll be excellent for someone for fibroids. The wheatgrass started off as a seed. It was sprouted. It grows in the soil. It grows a root. It grows the grass. And we juice the grass to get the juice. So there's no toxins in there anymore once it's a grass. And it's very potent. Wheatgrass is like almost equivalent to the blood, but the blood has more iron, and the wheatgrass have chlorophyll, so that's why it's green, and blood is red because it has iron. But it's so, the nutrients in there is so similar, you know. So, like I said, fibroids is usually caused by stress or a lack of nutrients. And what the wheatgrass do, it's very potent. So the fibroids need those nutrients, the body needs the nutrients to get rid of those fibroids. So fibroids are what I found out was it's like a pocket in the uterus. And what happens is when it's not enough nutrients or water or you're under stress, the body stores the toxins in the fibroid. It's like a pimple. So once you get healthy, then it can get rid of the toxins. So wheatgrass is excellent with detoxing the body. So it's excellent. Like I have, young women, ladies who have their menstrual period, they notice that when they have the wheatgrass, it's much better or eliminate the pain. I say, yeah, because blood heals. That's what it does. It heals. It gives you nutrients. It detoxing you. It's oxygenating you. It's cleaning you out. That's what blood does. So it's all about the blood. The blood is life. You need to have good blood. And this is the number one. There's other ways of eating a healthy diet, a lot of green salad, but the wheatgrass takes 1 minute, get in your blood, and you'll feel it. So that's what I like about the wheatgrass. So I tell people, gotta pass this on to other people, friends, family, people who have health problems. Just tell them to listen to the show. They might tell you, let's start a health club. So I guess instead of starting a health club, but I would go out to all these different events, learn things, take it back. And a friend of mine said to me, Mike, why aren't you telling me all this knowledge? I'm like, what are you talking about? You know all this health stuff. You should teach. I'm like, I don't want to teach. And I thought about it. I'm like, well, I shouldn't hold it all to myself. I know people who are sick. I can help them out. Just saying something, starting a health club. I can't have them come with me, to different places. Some do, so I figure, like, this is my calling, to help people start their health club. I started a health party, and they loved it. And it's a challenge for people to try to make these foods and things because you got to read books, look at videos, and a lot of people just don't have time. So I'm making it easier for them. I'm like, let's do it. Also with the wheatgrass, like I said, I give a free half-hour consultation when somebody orders wheatgrass because I want to tell them more and find out their health problems. Also elderly people. This is wonderful for them. I have a few clients that I know their age is like 85 and up, and they swear by it. The doctor said, "Oh, he said my blood is good," or "I'm actually, well, my age, I'm really good." And sometimes when you go to the doctor and you get checkups, the doctor says, "Oh, you just say for example you're 60 years old," and they say, "Oh, you're okay, you're fine, you're healthy." But what they don't know the doctor looks how healthy you are for your age. So every 60-year-old, if you're healthy, they say, oh, you're healthy. But some people are really healthy, take wheatgrass and do all these things right. And the doctor may say, oh, you have a kidney of a 30-year-old. Or you have a heart of these things. So when they look at you, they look at your age. Because sometimes like a lot of elderly people, their kidney may be working 50%. So they're going to have problems, but you can reverse that and make it work 80%. And your doctor will notice. So with any part of your organ, with it, they always look at your kidney, like your liver, which is very important, kidney and liver, so those are the two organs and intestines that you need to detox, go through fast so your body can clean, you out, because those organs affect all the other organs, because the blood's got to be clean. So the liver, the kidney, and the intestine, that's what they do. So if you have any problem with your kidney, your liver, or your intestines, which most people do, you're going to have problems. So by healing those organs, fasting is excellent. So I always want to fast more about me taking wheatgrass. I went from 1 day to 3 days. I'm planning to go longer. So tell people, join the club so we can do this together. We can't do it alone. You can go further in a club than doing it by yourself. Learning from other people. Like I had a friend that was pregnant. She didn't take the wheatgrass, but I would ask her questions about her pregnancy. And she said, her bones hurt. And I said, your bones hurt, that means you're mineral deficient. She said, you don't know what you're talking about, Michael. I'm like, well, just go to the doctor and ask. So he went to the doctor, and the doctor said she was mineral deficient. He says, Michael, how did you know? I says, well, our body talks to us, but we don't listen. It's usually through pain, discomfort, tiredness, and it means something, but we don't take it serious. If you're tired, that means your body's trying to heal something. It only can heal when you rest and go to sleep with no food in your stomach. If you go to bed and you eat, then your body can't really heal it because it has to concentrate on digesting. So all these things are so simple, everyone. We just need to learn how to do it and teach others. Like I have a friend, he had 2 full-time jobs, and he had it for about 2 years, and he was complaining that he was getting sick, and he didn't know why. And I was like, you don't know why you're getting sick? He says, no. I said, because you got 2 jobs. That's 16 hours, and then you have 8 hours to sleep. What are you doing at 8 hours? He said, I eat and I go to bed. I'm like, then your body's not healing. It's deteriorating. That's why you're getting sick. I said, you need to get rid of that job, one of those jobs. So he got rid of one of those jobs, and his health came back. So simple. We do a lot of things that we're not aware of. So that's why, as a group, I think we can do wonders for our community. So I want you guys to help me out, to get your friends and family, even if you don't want to do it. So one of your family who might be into health, just tell them to listen to the show. Listen to it, just listen to it together. We have to do this just to help our community. I see women having babies with autism, and I said it's all about nutrition. You've got to prepare your body before you get pregnant. Like you said, the men and the women. Anybody have any questions? So the health club is the key. Again, I'm going to repeat that pumpkin seed milk recipe. 1 cup of pumpkin seeds soaked overnight. Organic pumpkin seeds, I'm sorry. Make sure it's organic. I tried the regular ones. It's just for some reason don't taste right to me. Soak it overnight. Rinse it a couple times in the morning. Put it in a blender. Add 4 cups of water. Do a cup at a time and blend it. You can sweeten it if you like. I usually don't like to sweeten it. Strain it through a milk bag or a mesh bag or a cheesecloth or a strainer. The strainer is a little more difficult because you got to put a spoon on it to press liquid out. And you have your nut milk. And you can, I make turmeric milk, which I love, good for inflammation. And there's a little pepper in there because they say you got to put pepper in it to activate the turmeric. And there's a lot of other things you could do, but I can't tell you on this one show everything. So other shows I will tell you things like, how to make a salad dressing out of the same pumpkin seeds, how to make a soup, a sauce. We have about 15 minutes left. But like I said, please pass it on to others. If you don't have time, find a friend who have time that can help you out, that can make it, say, oh, I made it. Yeah, I can share it and, taste it. And maybe, at the club, you can have a potluck where everybody make different things and come together and taste it. Like I said, it's all about the club. It's all about your family, your friends, even your church. If you go to church, get your church involved. Have them listen to the show. Maybe I can come to the church if you have enough people in the local area. I have did that before. As far as the Beamer, my health parties, I usually do that, do it locally, but, if somebody's interested and I can help find out in their local area where they can get a Beamer session, especially when they have bad circulation. Like I know people who, they felt the difference. Like I don't like taking medication, and I say eventually if you take it for a long period of time, it's going to weaken you. Tell people it's all about our blood. It's so simple. You can, just by eating raw foods, your blood will get better. But the wheatgrass, give it a double, triple boost for your body. You can see the difference faster, I believe. I've seen other people that said the same thing. Oh, on the next week's show, I'm going to talk more about, fasting with the wheatgrass. And that's fasting is repairing your body, healing your body, getting rid of bad stuff. And it does wonders. And most people I know that fast, they say, oh, like a friend of mine called me, she fasted the first time. She says, Michael, I just got to tell you something because you probably the only one to understand. I'm like, what? And she screamed out, I feel great. And I just laughed because I knew how she felt.
Did you see the guy at the front gate? Because he was pretty upset.
So.
Oh, you didn't see him sitting at the front gate?
15 minutes left. So.
Look at the camera.
Like I said, pass it on to others.
Oh, you didn't open up the gate?
Email is Mike, mailbox1 at yahoo.com. Mike, mailbox number 1 at yahoo.com. My number is 929-273-1481. So I'd like to ask everybody a question. Hopefully they can make a comment. Are you guys going to try to make the pumpkin seed milk? Question. Please let me know if you can. Very easy. It's more nutritious than milk.
Hey, Mike.
Well,
yes.
This is Forrest. I just want to say, wonderful show, brother. And I took notes down, and I'm staying in contact. Maybe you might want to share that cashew cheesecake.
Well, I'm going to show people how to make a simple dessert. It's almost like a cheesecake.
Yes.
Right.
Thank you, brother.
Michael?
Yes.
This is Carolyn.
Hi, Carolyn.
And I might just give that pumpkin milk a try.
Yes, I'm telling you, it's very nutritious.
Okay. And I just forgot what I was going to say.
And also, like I said, when you eat nutritious stuff, you're going to start eating less.
Oh, I know what I was going to say. Maybe you want to consider doing a fast with your listeners. We, on the pink sofa,
Right.
we do a corporate fast at the,
Oh, okay.
to start the new year. But we do a Daniel fast, so it's like a vegan diet.
Right.
And it's been good. We did it 2 years now.
Oh, great.
Mhm.
That is really great. So you sort of like have your own group already.
Yeah. So
That's great. See how the power as a group is? Y'all did it together.
yes.
So
Yeah.
that's what I'm talking about. That's what we have to do.
Mhm.
But pumpkin seed milk, I tell people it is, because I used to love milk, and when I had that pumpkin seed milk, I made it 6 months straight. I had so much of it, I noticed my skin got soft, and just different things. I was like, oh, okay. But as a group, you learn those different things, and you pass it on to others. I make pumpkin seed milk, sesame seed milk, sunflower seed milk, Brazil nut milk, almond milk, hazelnut milk. I love them all.
But you recommend pumpkin as number one.
Well, it just depends. Everybody has a different taste, but I like pumpkin because, to me, when I first had it, it almost tastes like milk. And I asked other people about it, and they said, it almost tastes like milk.
Okay.
So that's why I like it.
Okay.
And then, it's very nutritious. It's more nutritious than milk. So why not do it? And like so nutritious, it'll go bad in like 3 or 4 days. Sometimes I have to freeze it when I make it if I don't have the whole thing. Milk, it's all pasteurized. So they kill all the live enzymes in there, and a lot of people get allergic to milk because milk forgot the protein in milk that a lot of people are allergic to.
Yeah.
But if you have raw milk, they have enzymes that'll break down their proteins where you won't be allergic to it. I'm like, oh, wow. So I like to learn different things. I like to read, and that's one thing I like about a club, because we're going to be reading books. We're going to be going on the health challenges. That's how we're going to learn. Pass it on to others. Especially one of my friends, like when she was having a baby, she was going through all these problems, and just because she wasn't eating right. Her baby's a kid now, but still suffer from what she did not do when she was pregnant. So when you're pregnant, you have to prepare your body. And a lot of women don't do that. Oh, I'm pregnant. Oh, you got a lot of work to do. I knew a nutritionist. She had a baby, and she told me she took off a year from work so she can eat right and exercise good to prepare for having a baby before she even got pregnant. And then she had a baby. She ate right, and she said, "I had that perfect baby. It didn't have no problems at all. I didn't give the baby any kind of shots. My baby's perfect."
Yes.
She breastfed. And I'm like, wow. I said, that's what I like to hear. Like, what if she was in the club? How powerful that would be.
Oh, yes.
So I said, we have to do this. Now they're saying that the parents are going to outlive their kids. And I was just so shocked about that. And I see that happening.
Well, yeah, you have children with type 2 diabetes.
Yeah.
And
Like, that's crazy. The parents are going to outlive their kids.
And high
I see
cholesterol.
the kids are obese. I'm like, oh my goodness. All these hormones that given to the women and the men is affecting them. In the milk. I'm like, wow. When is this going to stop? Somebody's got to do something. So that's my mission. Hopefully you guys can help me out. You know, that's the only way. Like, I love to go into health events, learning new things, and passing it on to other people. Like, if I didn't go to these health events, I would never knew about the Beamer, the foot detox, probably even the wheatgrass. You know, and the wheatgrass, I'm starting a separate health club for people that have the wheatgrass because they tell me so many testimonials. And I just love to hear it. So I hope I answered your question. So anybody else going to make that pumpkin seed milk? I think, Carol, not to tell, I think I went under Pink Teacup by accident, and they said, oh, is this the guy? And I got on and said, yes. Oh, this is only for women only. I said, oh, I'm sorry.
Well, that was that week. So the first and third weeks is ladies only. Second and fourth, men are invited. So this coming Tuesday, you're more than welcome to come on the sofa.
Okay. And I wanted to get it on there just to let other women know, like, what it's about. Maybe they want it. I'm like, oh, I didn't get a chance. But thank you.
Yes, nuh-uh.
It's like a friend of mine was telling me, like, I said, you know what? I want to go to a women's support group, women that have breast cancer. And she told me, oh, I don't think they would like that. I'm like, why? She said, oh, because they're going to be talking about their breasts and stuff like that. I'm like,
well, you know,
I have a mother and sister.
I do a health event. I call it a pink and red event for breast and heart health. I do it every October because I'm a survivor, and and that event is ladies only because I like to give people the opportunity to share, and not everybody. Some women find it hard enough to just speak about it with other women, let alone with men. But I think that if I think there is a place to have a forum that is with both men and women, because men also get breast cancer. So having a forum where it's both, I think is a good thing. It just just needs to be stated that this is the way it's going to be. But I know, like, my event is for ladies only. Yeah. That's just
my friend. I was like, she told me, like, maybe a year later, she was asking about wheatgrass, and she called me up, like, she said, oh, I had that before. It tastes like that. She was saying negative stuff about it. And then a year later, she called me and said, oh, Michael, I want to try your wheatgrass. I'm like, why do you want to try my wheatgrass? I don't understand. A year ago, you were against it, and she saw in our breast cancer group, they were talking about wheatgrass, how it was good for people who had breast cancer. So I told her, go to the store, juice bar, and get some wheatgrass. You're not trying my wheatgrass. It's not about how it tastes. It's about the benefits.
Mm-hmm.
So I tell people, you got to know the benefits of it. It's not about the taste. I don't care how it tastes. If it's going to benefit me, I'll take it.
Yeah. I know it doesn't taste good.
There's certain things you can do. Like, I know a lot of women can't tolerate it for some reason because they're always asking me, how does it taste? But men just drink it right down like it's vodka. So I tell people you have to look at the benefits. You can water it down if you want to. I know somebody used to put sugar in them. Like, no, don't put no sugar.
That defeats the purpose, doesn't it?
Yeah, but I'm like, it's not that bad. You're not drinking a 16-ounce glass. You're just drinking an ounce. You know, so and it's not bad tasting. It's like on the bitter side, but I can tolerate bitter. Bitter is good for your liver. Anything bitter. So, but I hope everyone can make that pumpkin seed milk, and that will be a start. Pass it on to others. Pass it on to your group. Tell them to make it. And they will notice a difference. And your bodies always need minerals and vitamins. And I think next week I'll talk about also, a lot of people don't know that when you don't eat properly and get the right nutrients, the body will take it from your bones. That's why a lot of people have arthritis and stuff, because they're not absorbing the food properly, or the food is not nutritious enough. So the body needs that nutrition, and it takes it from your bone. Your bone is like a reserve. So if you can't get it from the food, it would take it from the bones, like calcium, potassium. So, and your body expects you to eat right to rebuild it back up. So your bones is like a reserve. You don't have enough, it takes it from the bones, and when you get a flourish of good nutrition, it will rebuild it back up. So a lot of us are so toxic, a lot of calcium, also detoxification. So this is what. Thank you, and thank you for telling me about your show on Tuesday.
Surely.
We'll be on. So anybody have any questions? It's about, got a couple of minutes. And I'm happy when everyone came on. Like I said, pass it on to others. We need to get our health together, especially in our community. I see dialysis popping up all over my neighborhood, these urgent cares. They really want our money.
Mm-hmm.
We can change that by investing in yourself, in your community, in your group, in your family, in your church. So just do a little bit. A little bit is a lot. You help somebody out, they help somebody out. Even if you don't want to do this, just tell somebody else that isn't to help. Tell them just listen to the show. So on that note, I'm going to stop the recording. See if I can figure this out again. Okay, okay.